They asked me to kind of give you a little bit of a brief history here. I'm going to take about 20 minutes to actually do this, understand that it's just the tip of the iceberg. That's when we're really looking at the timeline and the development of this particular music. But one of the things that we really need to note is that, first of all, jazz is America's only indigenous art form. I mean, this was really kind of fostered here, and it was born out of here. And if you can kind of see this large picture that I have behind me, this is a very famous photograph that was taken in the 1940s out in Harlem that represents all the musicians in that particular area are going to learn that really jazz was born in New York. It was born in the boroughs. Probably all but about 4 of the musicians that are represented here, 4 or 5 of them, are African American or have are African American descent. And it's really important to note that this music is really kind of generated from this upbringing, and this is some of the things that I kind of want to point out as far as on my presentation here. We'll listen to a few clips and try to make it as interesting as possible. I might even have some questions for you, for that matter, that will be in the test. I have my students here. Okay, so we start off with a precursor to jazz. Of course, the turn of the century, we had a particular individual known as the King of Ragtime. This was Scott Joplin. He grew up in Texarkana, but he started his musical lessons on piano and composition when his family moved to Joplin, Missouri. His father, Giles, was an ex-slave from Carolina, and his mother, Florence, was a freeborn African-American woman from Kentucky. He wrote 44 original ragtime pieces, most famous for his piano solo, The Entertainer. Celebrated a ragtime revival, actually, with this particular piece and others in the 1970s, when his music was adopted by composer Marvin Hamlish to be used for the Academy Award-nominated picture The Sting, starring Robert Redford and James Caan, among others. Ragtime music is the precursor to jazz, but the most notable and important aspect of Joplin's contribution to our music is that he was one of the few musicians that wrote the music down as far as the street music is concerned, giving us a better perspective of what music sounded like when in the streets during the dawn of the 20th century. The Maple Leaf Rag, which we're going to hear right now, is his most famous for his time. Some say sheet music sales from this one composition helped sustain his livelihood. Today it is still popular among many classical piano students, offering them a door to the syncopated and diversified rhythms of jazz and popular music. So Sarah, if you can play the first video clip. And this is actually a recording that we're going to hear that was generated from a piano roll. And this is really great that we actually had this, because this was really before even the advent of sound recording. But gives us a real good idea of what these this music sounded like. So this is a Maple Leaf Rag.